So today I'm here with Sergio Carolino, good friend of mine. He's an international Yamaha artist. He's also teaching at the School of Arts here in Porto called SMAE for a lot of years. He is also principal tuba of the Casa da Música Symphony Orchestra in Porto, and not to mention his career as a solo, playing all kind of music. Well, yeah, going from funk to all kind of jazz. Also, what else, like
also music,
electronic.
Yeah, and music with no style.
Yeah. And if I had to describe you, I would say, as you said, a being from another planet.
Well,
Coffee lover,
yeah,
friend of Spark.
yeah. Well, thank you, anyway, Ricardo, for this interview. Well, I'm trying to be as most normal guy in life than like every people should be, trying to have fun and be a nice man in society and have fun when I play music. And when I do all these projects, orchestra or solos, or I just keep the same vibe, man. Just enjoying what I'm doing and trying to be surrounded with people that have the same passion than me, so that you can really enjoy even more.
And have you ever thought when you do all these things that maybe some people who wanna keep it simple don't understand that, oh, why is he doing so many things, or you don't care about this kind of...
Well, I respect that people, they have different kinds of ambitions, and I think they also, even if they don't understand me, maybe they enjoy what I'm doing. If they see I'm happy, and then if, when they realize that I'm doing some projects, and if for some reason they come to see a concert, they really are happy. Oh, this is very cool, in fact. So maybe they start to understand what's going on, why I do that, because otherwise I also like to play in the orchestra. This is my main job, of course, and I'm lucky to have very good colleagues in the orchestras, and Porto is a good orchestra. People, they don't know much, it's not very famous, but it's very high level. We can play very good here.
And the programs are
fantastic. The conditions, like you have been here with us 2 weeks, Ricardo, it's very nice to play in this house, man. We have all the conditions, so there is no way to be negative for these kind of things. I don't believe on that. I think we should be happy to be how I can say, grateful that the things we have here.
For what you do.
Yeah, because since all my life I start to be, I never thinking about getting more famous on this kind of brass wall or whatever called tuba wall. I just wanted to have fun and trying to learn and keep growing and learning.
I remember we were talking, sorry that I interrupt you, when we were talking the other day about expectations. That sometimes you create an expectation of what I have to do with my career. Also in the interview I did for Ian Boswick, he talked about that we should eliminate that word, career, and just have fun and think at every moment what I want to do, and just do it.
Of course, I also believe on that. It's not easy. It's more easy to talk than to do. And the expectations is not from ourselves. It's from the other guys. Everybody, for example, the fact that I made many CDs. I just gave the example of Roger Bobo.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not gonna cut this. I'm just gonna take the CDs that were right here. Yeah, later we'll talk about them.
Right. See, I have many CDs, all different with original music. I try to I give many examples of Gene Poccone, Roger Bobo, and Oren Marshall, Francois Cuillier, and I record with them, which is fantastic. I just have a new CD coming out with Gene Poccone and Telmo Marques, my piano player and composer. It's not mine, but he loves to play with me, and I love to play with him. And I love to play his music. He's also an amazing composer. And Gene accepted to record with me. That was an historic moment for me. I have many composers who compose for me because they like the style, my way of playing too, she's like, I don't think it's, I create a personal style. I just play music. And I try to understand many different phrasings. And come back again to these expectations. It's when you record all these CDs, and on the CDs you can always repeat some takes and make it better. It's not perfect, but you can always improve. So then I'm a very perfectionist guy in a way. I know my limits. I play music for excellence, not to achieve perfectionism. But in this kind of idea, I try always to control or try to control, which is impossible to control a piece of metal. It has no life, so I try to have.
They have no brains.
They have no brain, in fact, which is it's a pity. And I try to make my best possible and to have a good sound, good tuning, good phrasing, and play in the most relaxed way, in the most normal way.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are here talking, we're breathing, we are talking, and I think we should be like that. Otherwise, you're getting problems, and life has already many problems. So I don't want to be in music to have even more problems than in normal life.
Yeah.
Normal life, people get life is sometimes can be difficult, and so we play music to make
and we import that from the issues that come from life, and we think that playing has to be difficult when actually it has to be.
I try to eliminate, as young Bussian you said, this expectation, because even in the colleagues in the orchestra or in this, for example, this tuba conferences, tuba community, people, they are expecting always you to be at the top level. If they listen to a CD and they love it, and they are expecting always that or even more. So you cannot think about that. You just need to make your best. It depends of the what you are doing, if you how you are feeling, how is your health, how is your mind at that point, and it's not easy. It's not easy. We also feel that expectations, and this is a. I'm doing, for example, I'm trying to do a master degree in performance. It sounds a bit strange, but
well, you have to write also.
Yeah, I'm writing and I'm reading a lot of things, but I also believe a lot on mind. The mind is a powerful machine, and we need to use it a lot because it's the only way. It's the only thing will make us different from the other mammals. It's thinking. So we need to think in a good way, not overthinking. Just thinking and try to understand or visualize everything we do. Otherwise, we don't know what we are doing in the instrument. So for me, I believe that the first thing we need to have is awareness, to have conscience, to have culture, to have some condiments.
Even when you have a problem, it's important to be aware of that problem and admit that you assume that you have it.
Don't try to escape.
Yeah, the other day we were talking about these hesitations that sometimes appear in all kind of musicians, and that are more and more common nowadays. I was going to talk about all the things like your childhood, but it's good that you brought this kind of conversation up. So we're going to continue this way, and it's kind of sad to see that. I don't know if it's because of the pressure. Maybe social media is also involved. I'm not sure.
It can be.
But all these problems.
I try. Sorry, Ricardo. I try to have. I'm very much addicted to these social things because I like, and because I make many friends, and it's my way to be in touch, but only for sharing good things, music, traveling, and if people are interested to know what I'm doing, what people are doing music with me, projects, and just positive and good things. I try to use that in a positive way. Otherwise, this makes no sense because it's just bring you more stress and I don't know. I try. I like this, but in a good way. Of course, sometimes I have my dark moments like everybody, and I'm having my dark moments for a long time. And since my grandmother died, I got a very good connection. Something changed in my mind, and for a good reason, I start to be more rational. In other ways, I have many anxiety problems, and I need to deal with that. I'm always going to many doctors, to neurologists, psychotherapists, and all these acupuncture doctors, and starting to do meditation. It's my new hobby, which I'm not yet.
Like kind of like yoga or mindfulness or
the meditation, which is kind of the same thing. It's very powerful with a Buddha school in Porto, and it's not easy. I still have problems to try to just forget everything, just get in a Zen mode so that you just clean everything around you and then you are focused in your trying to understand and feel your body. And just you forget everything that is outside. And this is very difficult. For me, it's very challenging. I'm trying my best because I think it's gonna help me to going to this process. I have a lot of anxiety which affects me. I have many dark moments and not because people or expectations. It's just myself. I'm always.
Is especially when you are, let's say, alone with your own thoughts, or when you are
well, you know what,
in the process of.
You know what? I have many friends, but in fact, I don't have many friends. I have many people who know me, and I know many people, and I spend most of my time alone, and with my dog, Sparky. He's a good friend. He's a good friend.
Yeah, this is Sparky. This is Sparky.
Sparky,
you see.
And in fact, I have a few friends who are mostly in music. Also, we start together learning from Alcobaça, my a small town near Nazaré Beach, where they have the giant waves, and also the Bay of São Martinho do Porto, which my mom is from there, which I want to live there. In fact, I'm trying to go there. It is a bay and live in peace, find my peace, staying quiet, and well, that means all these things. I'm trying to deal with it, and I just realized, like 1 year ago, I start to understand. The body is always trying to send signs to us, and sometimes we hurt. We don't understand. It takes time to understand what the body is trying to send to us. And now I realize something which is very weird, because people, they always say, you are always traveling, you are always playing solos and recording CDs. Well, first of all, the CDs I record, it's my way to have motivation and to keep learning. And I like the process to work with other musicians, composers, sound engineers, producers, video, it's the designers. It's such a nice project. It's very challenging. It's always, if you do a good CD, the second one, it's even more difficult. The third one is even more difficult because
maybe also because of the expectations.
So I try just to learn with that and to be involved on this team. It's a team. It's not my individual project. It's many brains working and a lot of energy put in there. Yeah. So this is my way to keep learning. In other ways, traveling and showing all this music and doing all these things, I don't like airports. Mostly if I need to travel with two buses. It's very boring and very stressful. But I also don't like, I find myself that I like to be very quiet. I'm a very, in fact, there is a side of me who likes peace, who likes to live in a place where there is not many people, very quiet. I can be at home, seeing a nice movie, have a dinner with friends, very quiet, read some books, time to read some nice books. I start to write a lot these last years, I don't know why, but as I read a lot, I start to have to write my own and put in the paper what I
You told me that you are kind of writing a thesis about the connection between music and mind.
Yeah, mind versus metal. It's a kind of that, which I'm trying to write. I'm not an academic, so I'm struggling to have time, in fact, because I also have many concerts, many CDs, travelings and orchestra, and every time I have some time to be without tuba, I don't want to do that thing. I want to be quiet. Of course, it's not easy because but eventually I'm going to try to finish that because, I don't know if I need that degree or not, but it's for my personal, challenging for me, because it's very challenging for me. For me, it's more easy to record a CD, even if the music is difficult or not, than writing, because I'm not an academic. But I have my own ideas. The problem is it's having enough time to do something really nice, because I want to with this thesis, this kind of book, I would love to help other people to, and maybe the book can give some more ideas and other perspective in our musical society in connection with the brass instruments. So I'm not writing nothing new, but maybe I'm just going to the ideas of Arnaldo Jacobs or Caruso, the singer, or Pablo Casals, or other great, amazing musicians, which even Leonard Bernstein and all these genius, when they talk about music, Wynton Marsalis, every time he talks about music, it's not only about music. It's just like I just saw the other day an interview with Yoyoma talking about the music system and the art system. In fact, he's right. It's becoming kind of people are putting on a box in the academic system, and if the students they are aware that they need to have one side of the body inside of the academic system and profiting from the tools that the university gave to them, and another side of them they need to be out. They need to find their own way and see the real life. So the only having these two things, it's the only maybe the key for success, or at least they can have more chances to that, because there is a lot of competition. Otherwise, if they are just inside of the academic system, they have no chance, because they don't know how to survive in the jungle.
Do you see yourself as a kind of influence or example for those new students who need to face this world where, let's say that it doesn't work as it used to work 20 years ago, where you could do an audition, win a job, and make your living for the rest of your life? No, nowadays you have to be able to do many things.
Yeah, it's why I have many different projects. I try to inspire them, and every time I gave them many ideas, and I advise them what I think they should do. They need to see the heart, the music in many perspectives. They need to try to understand or study different phrasing, different kind of styles, so that they can survive. If a tuba player, which as a tuba player, the main function of the tuba is doing the bass. Well, if you don't know how to do the bass, what are you going to do? How are you going to make money? So if you do the bass, you need to know how to play Dixieland, funky, brass quintet, wind band, orchestra, anything. Even a band with percussion or tuba and percussion, tuba and whatever, you are always the bass. So I recommend them to really understand that is the most important is being a good bass. And a good bass, what they need to have a good bass, need to have a good sound, so that people they listen clear what are the sounds you are doing. You need to know about harmony, because you with the bass line you show them the way in the chord progressions, so the sound needs to be very focused, and so that the other guys they need to understand where to go, where are you going. Otherwise, and also have a very good rhythmical, which is the first thing in fact, because without rhythmical there is no life. Life is all about
the orchestra falls over.
All the cosmos. It's always a timing, a rhythmical. So otherwise everything is moving all the time. So we are inside of that, of course. So we need always to have flowing. That's the key. And then the bass player also needs to understand that as a tuba player, as all the wind instruments, we are melodical instruments. So you need to have a good sense of melody. So a direction, a phrasing, where to go. So you need to know that, and I try to tell that to the students. You have to know all of these things, and of course, there is many things that you need to be aware. Not only playing the instrument, because this you can learn nowadays on YouTube. There is many good things, bad things, of course, but you can learn any instrument. It's not so difficult to play until a certain level to do how to do good enough, you know. But then, well, to survive at a high level or to have really a job, you need much more. In fact,
I think that the career of music, I mean the doing music bachelor, for example, is kind of easy when you do that degree. But then to make a living out of it, it's super complicated. Now that you brought the topic of tuba, when I listen to like some of my heroes when I was young, for example, I listened to Alessi or Jorge and these people, I always wonder which kind of exercises did these people do when they were young. So I'm sure that people wonder when you were young, before you even were playing in the orchestra, which kind of routines or music books, techniques. Can you tell us a little bit how you prepared yourself?
Well, I was like everybody else. I tried to believe in all the books that my teachers they advised me. But in a way, I just realized that some of these things doesn't function with me. So I need to find my own ways. And the thing that I find is the same thing to function with saxophone players or jazz trombone players or singers or even string instruments. Scales, arpeggios, modes, every day and night. Like say David Taylor, study morning, afternoon and night, day by day, many hours, listening a lot of music, a lot of good ones, also the bad ones, so that you can have an idea about what you want or you don't want. Also listen many different kinds of sounds, textures. Also go to the theater, go to a gallery of arts. Even if you don't understand in the beginning, you need to go there and have the curiosity of a kid, of a child, so that it can. You need to be curious. You need to try it. You need to try, even if it doesn't work. You can always change. So this is the main problem of this academic thing, that you are afraid to try. You are afraid to show your own identity or to find your own identity. And many of these people, they even don't think about that. They don't think to find their own personality, their own style. For example, people they are always funny with me because I have different shoes, different socks, different glasses. I have always many different hats. Well, I'm like that from when I was a young boy. I love these kind of things, and I don't change. It's what I am. I'm just like that, and I don't feel the people they can accept or not. But I'm not gonna change. Yeah, I'm like that.
But that's you.
I'm me. I'm not trying to impress people with this kind of strange glasses. It's what I like. I don't have the glasses to impress. I have the glasses because I like.
Would you say that, now that you're talking about your glasses, your hat, that's not part of a role that you are taking? It's simply
it's simply what I am. I come to the orchestra rehearsals exactly that I'm here. And the conductor sometimes they find weird, a guy playing tuba there.
Like the conductor last week.
Yeah, they always asking questions, most not for me personally, but I know they find. But then they realize, when I was playing with the National Orchestra of Spain, I was playing the Rite of Spring, and I know that some of the musicians there, they were making questions. Who is that guy, man? He has some problem because he's always wearing hats and strange glasses, but in a way they were very nice, they were very kind. It's just I'm not supposed. They are not used to see guys in the orchestra world or dressed like that in the rehearsal, of course, because people in the society they are they create boxes. So people, you are from the rock guy or the metal, you have a long hair and you have t-shirts with skulls, or in the classical, they are very very nice suit and blah blah blah. And that's not true. People, of course, people sometimes they are a bit. I think they are a bit afraid to be a bit different and to not be accepted in the society, in some different kinds of societies. And that's what I'm trying to do with the students. In a way, it's telling them, don't play music for the others. Play music or for you. It's you. It's all about you. It's very egoist, okay, but it's what it is. You need to have fun what you are doing. You are playing for you. You cannot wait for opinions or to please others. You just need to play your best and what you believe. Otherwise, you cannot play. You can do nothing.
And in that regard, now that you've been teaching for 20 years since you started, or even more, and now that you are talking about students, it is true that the society has changed a lot, and also not only because of social media, but also because of crises that were a few years ago. It has affected the way, particularly in our career, people has faced the music profession. So I was wondering, have you noticed any change in these students, like from the students that you used to teach 20 years ago?
It's like in fact, I realized that mostly this since 4 or 5 years ago, what I can see, it's the level was very high. Portugal was coming from like 30 years ago was nothing or very little things, and then start to open many professional schools, conservatories going up, universities, many universities, high level teachers with degrees and with all the prepared to teach, and we start to have master degrees, doctor, PhD and doctor degrees in musical performance and pedagogy, which is fantastic. So the level was very high. It's very high, in fact, now. So it makes more competition, and of course but in a good way. But since 4 or 5 years ago, there is a kind of a weird happening, which I feel the new students who come now to apply, you find the good ones who really play fantastic, or the other guys who doesn't play so good. There is no more medium guys. There is always very good, or is very low level. But the most weird thing is, even those guys who play really good, most of them, they are a bit ignorant. They have no idea. They just play good because they have good potential, physical potential, but in a way they don't know much why they are playing like that. They are just playing because someone told them to play like that, or they listen. Some guy playing like that. Maybe they listen you, Alessio, or some other guy playing, and they just copy because they have the skills to copy that, and it's good because they have good models. But then there is nothing more. They have no idea why they are playing like that, because there is no background, there is no information, there is no culture, there is no. So it's, of course, maybe not all of them. I'm just talking in general. What I feel.
There's not that interest in music in general, but an interest in.
But I think it's not
playing technical.
Yeah, I think it's not their fault. It's not the teachers before of schools. It's just there is a kind of situation that it makes like that. I don't believe that it's the school or the teachers. No, I think everybody want the best for the students. I believe in that, and most of these teachers of these students, I know them. They are my colleagues, and I know they give their best, and they are proud when the students they are success. It's just the society, as you say, something changed slowly by slowly, and then when you realize, well, the only thing you can try is trying to help and make them see the importance of reading, of going to art expositions, contemporary, listen to many concerts as possible. Don't go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube, and also to find many things on internet. But there is an issue in this internet thing on YouTube. There is a lot of information there. The problem is the organization of the information. A lot of information, the good one, the bad one, everything is mixed. So you don't have organization. So many information with no organization equal ignorance. They have no idea. They are lost, in fact. They are a bit lost. They have no idea what's the role and what's the main thing to do in different kind of music. And they get a bit in a utopic dream, and they think everything is easy. They just go there and in 5 minutes it's there. They just learn everything. In fact, this new generation, they think everything is very quick to achieve. It's very easy and quick. They have no idea that it's even more complicated than in my generation, which was more difficult to have information. But in a way, it was more objective, pragmatic. So there were no time to waste with all this vague information that you can see everywhere, and life, like for example, people are always trying to get answers the quicker possible. People they think
like, how do you play high register?
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll send you many emails like that.
I have many of these. I'm doing strange things with the instrument. So people they think, how do you play the high notes? How do you play these low notes? Why do you have this high resistor? And other things that they also think that my Yamaha tubas, because people they are still very concerned and very how do you say
worried
about the instruments they play. For example, the German tradition of the rotary tubas. So it's the tradition. Does not mean it's different from Yamaha, but people they think the Yamaha it's that the tubas I play they are different from the others they can buy in shops, which not. Maybe just my brain is different, because I also can play a German tuba and make sound exactly the same. I can record a CD with a German tuba and make a photo for the cover with a Yamaha tuba, and nobody knows what instrument I'm playing. They have no idea. And in fact, who cares about that? You can play whatever tuba you want. Of course, in the orchestra, sometimes I need and I feel that I need a different instrument for some kind of music, just because of the composer. The composer have some instruments in mind. I believe you also sometimes think for bolero. Well, what trombone Ravel, when he wrote the bolero, was at that time? Was a guy who plays a very small trombone with a small bore with a small mouthpiece. Of course, you're going to play the solo on a modern trombone.
Even for Mahler 3.
Even for Mahler 3, with a Bach very close to a bass trombone mouthpiece, large, with a bass trombone slide, with a bell very close to a bass trombone. What do you expect? It's going to be difficult for sure than the guy who played the solo, because Ravel knew it about that sound, about that phrasing, which was different. So now people they try to oversize everything.
Yeah, at the end, changing a little bit the topic, when you have to choose an instrument, it's also about the balance. Like maybe you can have in trombone you can have a silver bell, which makes you a dark sound, but then have a smaller mouthpiece that gives you a little bit of projection, and combine all these.
You have so many options. I don't believe in radical plays, because it doesn't matter. For me, I have an expression which comes from Arnold Jacobs. I have many who come from Arnold Jacobs, which come from Enrico Caruso, the famous singer, which Roger Bob uses, and also Gene uses, which music tell us everything we need to know. Just, you need to have, as I was saying before, awareness, then commitment. That's what this generation doesn't know yet, that they need to have commitment with themselves and with music, so that they are very focused and they are really inside of it. And then the last thing is the performance, which should be as normal as it is. You just forget spontaneous, because if the other two things are really very clear on your brain and your lifestyle, then the performance becomes just a moment of fun and have fun.
Talking about spontaneity, and I think that's a little bit related with the fact that nowadays the difference, for example, between orchestras are less and less important. In other words, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, you could really see a huge difference between Berlin Philharmonic and London Symphony, Berliner, Moscow. Like there were huge differences in style, technique. But nowadays, even when it comes to teaching students, you see that there's not much difference between them. That all these concepts are going in one particular direction. But on the other hand, when I listen to you on stage, you sound completely different from everybody else. In other words, you sound like with your own personality, despite the good sound and everything that comes with it. But how would you work on spontaneity? Like, because to me it's something that I'm trying to work on, because it's hard. In the past, I used to be like very spontaneous, but then I started to think how I do this, how I do that. And when you come to a point where you have to think everything you're playing.
But this is, Ricardo, this is also the academic system. Because I can tell you, for example, I'm going to give an example of your teacher, Alessi, which is one of the musicians that I most admire and I most respect because of his high level, not only in terms of technical skills, because there is the level, it's always talking, sound, concept, phrasing, tuning. He knows a lot. It's really the consistency all over the years. It's getting better and better. Every time I listen, it's getting better and better.
So
he has no time to waste. He doesn't allow himself to go less. It's always more. And this, I never meet Joe, and I cannot call him Joe, of course, he's not my friend, but in a kind way, I can call Joe with respect. Maybe I'm going to meet him in La Domaine Forget in June, because he's one of the guest teachers there. I'm going to be there teaching. So maybe if I'm in the same week there, maybe I'm going to meet him in person. But for example, he's a very academical. He's very focused with teaching, like you said, on the orchestra side, because he wants students to get a good job in orchestra. And if he is his specialty, he tries to training people for that specific job. Does mean you can go in a good direction on that thing, but there is many other things that you are missing, because then where is the spontaneity? Because you are just preparing to do that thing. You have no intuition. You are just like a machine. You're going to do the audition, you're going to do exactly the same thing you have been doing for 3 years. There is no time to improvise or to, if for example, I believe that if you work like that, if you are in a good day, if you are well prepared, it's going to work. But if something happens on the audition process, you have no skills to improvise, to go in another direction, because you don't know other direction, because you only work in one direction. So you are doing the audition, but something goes, you lost a bit to control. And these auditions start to go in another sense. And then you get lost, because you don't know how to come back again. And
so you have that spontaneity can be worked for orchestral auditions, you think?
It should be, because you never know. You never know what's happened. And the orchestral audition is very cruel. And you know that. You play for some seconds sometimes, and except and you screw up. And then the people they are listening, well, they don't know if you are a better musician or not. You just listen if you are play good tempo, style, and blah 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 in 30 seconds. And you make a traveling, you spend money, and you play for 30 seconds and you are out. You have no time to show them your skills, your personality, and your ability to change and to get in the section. And so it's very cruel. It's not. It comes. So, but coming again to Joe, No, I'm seeing Joe playing a lot on these slide monsters with Marshall Gilks, with Ejiro Nakagawa and Brent. And I see another Joe. And I see that he's enjoying very much, and I'm sure that he wants to learn jazz and other kinds of music now.
No, in fact he is.
He's studying, but I want one question that I would love to ask him is, Joe, if you are younger and you start playing trombone, maybe you will start already to do different styles.
You know,
I'm sure that you want to immediately not only get in the orchestra, but also going to other directions, because he discovered something that he is enjoying very much, and he makes him growing up even more. He is getting better because of that.
Yeah, I don't want to talk much about Mr. Alessi, but
Yeah, it's
but
an example.
He in another interview he mentions that he, well, I'm not 200%, but if I'm remembering it well, he says that if he started to study again, he would have been a jazz player. Because he loved jazz.
I'm sure, because this is well, I'm not a jazz player, but I'm an improviser. But I also play kinds of jazz, but I never study really jazz. But I can manage some styles in that category of jazz, which is very vague. It's very open. Many styles can be there. But as an improviser, I try to listen, understand the phrasing, the rhythmical, the harmony, the chord progression section, the line, and trying to fit onto what they are doing, and pretend to be a jazz musician. So people, they are listening to me with a strange instrument in the band, and they think this guy plays a lot of jazz. But no, in fact, I never studied jazz or something like that. I just listen a lot and try to imitate and understand what they are doing. And this is the process of learning for me. It's like Claudio Abad once said that he was getting older, and then in an interview he just realized, well, now I think I'm starting to understand what this thing about musical art. So I wanted to be very young again and start again learning music, because now I feel that I'm prepared to start to learn music. So it's like this humbleness, and it's in fact I have two questions, that two main things that I call myself. I'm a learner for life. I twist dances. I'm a learner for life. I think we are all absolute beginners. We don't know nothing. In fact, we're very small. And I'm a coffee lover. This is the
coffee lover.
Yeah, this is. I'm sure I love coffee. I should not drink because I have a lot of anxiety, but I prefer to die with a cup of coffee in my hand. I don't know, I'm joking, but it's kind of this thing. But I all of these things I do, I try to avoid this tension and expectation and all these things. I try to be as normal as possible and enjoy it. It's not easy. I have very dark moments, and I'm very alone, in fact, in my own world, because I try to understand what the next step, where I want to go, what I want to do. 4 years ago, I was quit music. I was living in Nepal, and then I find Sparky, and I bought this little dog, and he helped me to go through this dark phase, and then I still playing mostly because of him. So I wanted to quit music, just go to Nepal, live there with the guys there in the cold, and just live in society with them, just very far away from the kind of modern civilization, and just
academic world.
Yeah, and just live there and just be quiet, and I don't know, just something new, something different, something peaceful. Find my inside peace, which I keep trying to find it, and I don't know where it is.
In that regard, where do you see yourself in let's say, 10 years, 20 years, or you have no idea?
As I say, I don't create expectation, and I don't want to think about that. I think the society is changing so quick, so I have no idea. So I prefer to just think today. I'm gonna enjoy today, and then tomorrow let's see what's happened. So every time we go to a concert, for example, I try to be as much prepared as I can. It depends, but even if I feel that I'm prepared, when you go to stage, you never know.
Yeah.
So that makes you very humble, and I know that many people think that I'm very arrogant, but you know what? I don't care. It's my way of being, and being arrogant is my way to protect myself from some people, from some guys who are not good people. And if I'm arrogant, these people, they take care what they say to me. They think before they open the mouth. I also like this idea of using more the eyes, the ears, and less the mouth. So I believe on that more and more. Also for me, because when I was younger, I used too much mouth.
Yeah.
And now I'm a bit different. When I use my mouth, normally it's just to say funny things.
Yeah.
But when I want to be really focused and serious about some matters, I also can go there. I try to avoid to be so serious and to I try to be funny in the way focused, but in a way try to be as much relaxed as possible, and gave this, for example, in the academic or to students, make them have fun. I don't know if they're gonna have a job or if they're gonna find it, what they're gonna do. I don't know. I try, but I want them, if when they are there and with me, they need to have a nice moment doing music. We just make this concert with David Taylor, and it was just beautiful moment. It was a beautiful concert in a nice church in Porto, Clérigos Church, and Dave loved the students. They loved him. Was a lot of energy, a lot of good moments, and with an artist like Dave Taylor, of course, is the example of
a unique path.
Yeah, it was one of the persons who inspired me the most because of his open mind and stylistic. And his philosophy of life.
I just wanted to say that throughout this conversation, we talked about the importance of enjoying, the importance of spontaneity when playing. So, would you mind to? Well, you've been like 1 hour without playing a note. But would you like to improvise something for?
Why, yeah, I'm
for
always ready
audience?
to improvise. Eh?
I didn't bring my trombone because I don't want any compression.
No. So let's go, man. Well,
Man, that was awesome.
you see, it's when I do these kind of things, maybe I go I very high and very low, but I'm listening what I'm doing. I'm not really thinking about technical or analytically what I'm doing. I'm listening really what I want to go, where I want to go, and I think I try to get a clear idea what I'm doing and having fun doing things. And for example, these kind of things that I do, I just get inspired with Bob Stewart doing these things, and Aaron Jones, and Dave Barger, all these jazz guys, Kurt Joseph, who plays with the Dirty Dozen brass band for many years, sousaphone. And I try to learn that. And this thing, first time I listened was Bob Stewart, and I said, wow, I like this thing. It's like Jaco Pastorius doing this slap thing. This kind of thing, which is it sounds very clear.
Very easy.
Yeah, it sounds very clear. It goes to, but it's not. It's just. I know this. It's why I believe on that is if the brain understand what you want and is really listening, you don't need to know technically what to do, because the brain will tell you how to make it sound, how to make it come out from the instrument. I believe really on that, because I cannot explain how I'm doing most of these things.
I think my brain works a little bit different, because I cannot.
Well, but in a way, our brains work in the same way. It's just some people they are too much in a box, or they are too much in this. They are thinking too much. They are worried too much. They are overthinking about things. And I learned these kind of things doing other styles of music, not classical. Or I'm not a classical guy, but I play this what we call classical music and orchestral. And it's very beautiful, but it can be a box. It can make you feel like you are in a prison, because you are thinking too much about every sound you do. You are not walking.
What is supposed to be right?
Yeah, you are not walking in a free way. For example, I'm talking to you, and I'm thinking about many things else, and I'm moving my hand, and I'm talking. We're still breathing, of course, and our brain is doing all these things at the same time. So, what's the problem of also when we're playing, we can do the same thing, because the brain is keeping breathing. We are doing, and you can walk, you can relate, you are thinking about something else. Of course, if you are focusing something, the brain is there. But anyway, there is many things that maybe the brain is thinking, but you are not. You don't realize that. But this should be something natural and automatic. Otherwise, it's more easy to talk than to really do these things. It's not so easy than what people can say, or I try to pretend to be, but it's not easy. Even I'm not a genius, I'm just a guy who works a lot, and I'm trying to have fun. And as I say, I just assume what it is, and I don't create, don't try to pretend to be, this is very natural. No, it's not. This is not nothing that we do with a brass instrument. Any instrument is natural, because we are humans, and this was our invention. So nobody was supposed to born to play any of these strange things. Yeah. It's just something strange in the lips. We have a piece
kind of a new language, like weird language.
Yeah, it's something different. It's like a virus who come to our body, in fact. So we need to be aware of the problems that it also can bring to us. Like, I don't know, now we have many diseases that they find some names, but like posture problems, like dystonias, like stress, like I don't know, so many problems with the bones, with the back, with our legs, so many things with our teeth, eyes. Like, for example, if a tuba player spends all his life like that, sometimes I'm talking with people, and for funny, I put my hand here, and I'm talking. Hey, how are you? I say, what are you doing? Well, I'm used to have something here, so I spend my days with something here. So I put my hand so that I can feel more comfortable, because I live with something here. Every day I have many hours something in this side, in my left eye. So that means when I'm like that, if I don't have that, I lost a bit my confidence. If I put, it's just for joking, but what are you doing? Well, that is my life, so I need to have that. So it's kind of a funny way to to realize that I have this job and I have this kind of posture. So, but anyway,
keep it simple.
I try to keep it simple as much as possible. I get confused when many people, mostly the students, they ask many questions, and I try to help, and I realize that I cannot help because this is very personal. We need to find our way. You can write many books, but there is no only one way. There is always many ways. Is why I become a lot focused in philosophy. I have a lot, and philosophy, because philosophy, it made to you to think, and you can argue always, to make things next step, to have some evolution. If you become very philosoph about everything, there is no true, there is no only one option. There is always, you can argue always to the next step. That means what a guy say, it makes sense to you, but it can go to the next step. Maybe there is another way, or there is something more to say about that.
Wow.
So this is what I'm dealing.
What I'm gonna do is because we have this when you play, and at some point I will find where I can cut this part. So yeah, I'm just gonna close it because I have to leave.
Oh, yeah, fine, man.
For Severo is calling me because I have a 3 and I have to do check-in.
Ah, okay.
And it's 1:30.
You go with Severo?
Yeah, Ricardo. So I was gonna say that. So we're coming to the end of this. I wouldn't call it interview because I had prepared many questions, but at the end, I think the conversation followed its own.
I'm really sorry because I have my brain is a big mess. I have many things that at the moment in the brain. I'm always thinking about many things. I get confused sometimes with myself because I'm always thinking too much with overthinking, and I don't like it, and I want to stop it. But
but it's a coolness. So I'm happy that you have shared it with the audience.
I try to be as most simple and honest with what I'm doing, and I believe in simplicity. The most beautiful things created by humanity are the most simple things. Or in the music, you can see the most simple things are so beautiful, so sublime, that you don't need to be complex or something like that. In a way, the complexity doesn't bring anything beautiful, just more confusion and make people scared. In fact, most of them, they get away from that in a way because they don't understand what's the point. And also, I'm coming to that point that I prefer to do less and better. Like less is more, which I'm trying to learning now to just avoid some of my projects, just be focused in some of them less and be more focused and doing less things, traveling less, but be more focused. And that is what I'm trying to manage. Have a better balance in my life that I think is missing, and I think I'm gonna find it. It takes time in a way because.
No, but I'm sure. So I hope you the best, and I'm sure this conversation will continue at some point.
So it's always the next conversation.
This is part 1. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you.
A book everybody should read.
Cosmos by Carl Sagan.
Finish the sentence. No time for
bullshit.
How many dynamics does the tuba have?
Loud and, I cannot say the word beep, loud.
If you didn't play tuba, what would you be?
Maybe a coffee maker. Maybe.
Which is your football team?
Benfica Lisbon.
The best tuba player of the history is?
Maybe Roger Bobo.
Give an advice to a young tuba using 3 words.
Curiosity, humbleness, and commitment.
Which is your biggest strength?
I think I'm not afraid to be what I am.
Your biggest weakness?
Maybe a shy guy, in fact, in a way.
Do you have any dream left?
Yeah, many.
Who should lead the orchestra, the conductor or the low brass section?
Well, I believe in the pyramid. The pyramid, it starts from the low brass section, is the base of the pyramid, and the conductor it's on the top. So it's a long line there.
But who was on the second?
I believe in the pyramid. Low, medium, high. Conductor is the last one.
Okay.